Told you the show was at a crossroad. Now, I've sat here and said nothing. And I don't like to take the program and not do what we do, which is sports. But if I don't use this forum, I don't have one. I mean, I don't have somebody doing the bidding for me because, like I said, I'm not going to be a guy who's going to court favor with the media. You know, most of them, they're not in love with me, and they'd rather see me fall on my head, which I understand. I mean, I've been here doing this a long time. But what I can't deal with is a guy like Raceman, who, listen, he's been Dog's guy for 20 years. I mean, basically, they're inseparable. They live together, I think, now. I mean, I think in the last 2 months. I mean, every day you read it. And Raceman is the worst culprit because he has never, during the time where he has written all this stuff about the breakup of Mike and Maylock, has never, ever called me once for a comment. Not once. All he's done is attack and attack and attack. And the attacks are to attack me and make Dog look good, which is his prerogative. But when he called up to get the information about, let's say, the fact that what I've done over 20 years on solo shows, which I've done one for 20 years on Sunday morning, and Dogs have done one for 20 years on Saturday morning, and he was given the information. Well, the information didn't suit him because my numbers, and that's just the way it is, are very, very good, and Dogs are less than that, substantially less than that, and he didn't write it. He refused to write it. He was given the numbers. He called for the numbers. He was given the numbers, and he refused to write it. And he just pounded away. So I've sat here, and like I said, I don't want to make it about me. I really don't. I mean, I know I'm accused of being an egomaniac all the time, so I should make it about me because I get accused of being one anyway. So I should make it about me every day, but I try not to make it about me. I try to make it about sports, which is what I love. But I don't like the fact, and my friends are saying to me, hey, you got to fight back. And I said, I'm going to sit back and wait and let this whole thing unfold. But I took a beating everywhere, every story. I was the villain. I was the bad guy. I was the reason. I was jealous. I was this. I was that. I was the bad guy. I understand that Dog was always the guy who played the fan and played the clown and was the guy that was more lovable because I played the tough guy and he played the clown. I understand that. So there was more guys rooting for him in the media and rooting for me. I understand that. That's fine. I care about what the audience thinks. And the audience, what's great about the audience is the audience sees through and they know what the truth is. And they know if you're telling them the truth. And I've always tried to tell them the truth. I don't court favor. I don't go asking guys to do my bidding for me. I don't go asking guys in the media or critics to go do my bidding for me. So I get pounded, which is fine, but it comes to a point where you can't take it anymore. Where you say, this is ridiculous. So I got, perfect example is Raceman, who is Dog's guy. I got him pounding me here since this whole thing started about how, F-Fan's business is going to go down the drain. And Francesa can't carry a show by himself. Now, I can't carry a show by myself. I've done a show on Sunday morning for 21 years by myself that has never finished behind a conventional station in 21 years. I have finished behind a few of those church stations, those religious stations do gospel music on Sunday morning or sermons on Sunday morning, especially the Spanish-speaking ones, which do astronomical ratings. I have finished behind a couple of those. I have never finished behind a conventional station on Sunday morning in 21 years. And my ratings are double Dogs by myself. But I can't carry a show, and he can. Now, I never said he couldn't. And I take umbrage with someone who said he couldn't. But for him to write that I can't and Dog can is outrageous. Plus, and he's never written a word. Well, he did write one word about Mic'd Up once. He wrote that Mic'd Up would be a colossal failure the first time I did the show. And that there was no room on Sunday night for that kind of show. And I just finished my 250th show at NBC. And you can go check and ask NBC about it. That show has record ratings, thanks to you, the public, for 250 shows. It's been number one. It has driven CBS's sports show off the air by their own admission. And it has been a show that they've tried to copy in other cities around the country because it's been so successful. And I don't want to sit here and talk about the fact that I did that, but you know what? Why should I sit here and get beat up day after day by a guy who dislikes me and likes dog? Just be fair. Be a little bit fair. I'm going to add some voices to this show. You know why? Because I'm here for the next 5.5 years, and I think that's the best show. And I'm trying to handpick them. I've almost hired 2 people. It hasn't worked out yet. I'm talking to a lot more. You know why? I want to give somebody good an opportunity. This is a great piece of real estate. We've built something. Dog and I built something special here. It's a great piece of real estate. Hopefully the person I pick is here with me for the next 5.5 years because, God willing, I'm going to be here. And is here long after I'm gone. I'm looking for someone to be that. So I want to take my time and make sure it's right because I don't want to change again. I mean, I did 19 years with one person. It was great. We had our ups, we had our downs. We had more great times than bad times. We both did really well. But I got tired after a month of being the villain when I didn't say one word. I never did an interview. I never fought back. And I took a beating to the point where it hurt my family. They were upset about things that were written and said when they knew that they weren't true. To the point where stuff my wife did in private even got in the newspaper. When she did a nice gesture, and that's even in the newspaper to make me look bad. And that's just wrong. And for someone to sit there and say, I can't do a show by myself, while Dog can't, I mean, look at the numbers. Folks, in this town, and again, if I don't say it, no one will. There's only 3 shows that are number 1 in sports. I have all 3. Mic'd Up is number 1. The NFL Now is number 1. And Mike and the Mad Dog's been number 1 for 20 years. That's it. No one else has a show. Dog had half of one. I have all 3. That's it. No one else comes close. There's not one person. Now, that makes me an egomaniac for saying that, but you know what? That's fact. You can look it up. Those are facts. So that's why it's laughable that anyone's going to say that I'm going to be jealous of their salary because my salary is much higher than anybody else's is in this town by a lot. But it's because I have 3 number 1 shows. I've earned that. I've been doing this 22, 23 years. I have great relationships with sponsors. They've been with me a long time. I own a piece of the NFL now. I have a great relationship with NBC with Mic'd Up. I have a long-term contract there, a long-term contract here. And the idea that someone's going to attack what we're doing here and I'm just going to let them do it and say things like, oh, business is bad at FAN. Well, you know what? Business isn't bad at FAN. And business isn't bad on this show. We never lost a sponsor. Not one since the change. I have 3 outlets right now bidding to simulcast this show for the next 5 years. 3. And Yes is one of them. We'll see what happens. That's business. Yes has been great. They've been a great partner. In fact, they want to stay is wonderful. We have others that want to bid too. So business is bad. We have 3 outlets bidding to carry the show for the next 5 years. 3. We have not lost a sponsor. We have not lost a listener. We have not lost anything. I wish Dog well. I really do. I hope he does great. Why do I care if he does great? It's good for him. I hope he does great. I wish him well. I worked with him for 19 years. I have no animosity towards him. But I sit here and I became the bad guy and I'm getting attacked. Day after day